conversation with the man of the moment who's waited quite a while really to make this announcement. Mr. Suresh Narayanan of Nestle India, thank you so much for speaking to us here at ET Now. My first question to you is, how does it feel to finally bring back the 2-minute noodles onto the shelves across the stores in India?
Well, Nithya, thank you for having me on your show. Really, it's 4 very happy words. Maggi noodles is back. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling, not only for me, but I speak on behalf of over 7,000 employees. I speak on behalf also of all our suppliers, our vendors, our agencies, our distributors, our retailers. I think there is a whole ecosystem out there that we are extremely grateful for. And I think if there is one feeling that captures me at this moment, it is a sense of deep satisfaction and also a feeling of deep humility because so many people have stood by us during our darkest hour. And all I can say is that as you celebrate Diwali, I am delighted on behalf of Nestle to give back Maggi and the familiar taste of Maggi back to the consumers to whom it belongs, because I am just a custodian of this brand.
Before I go back to the darkest hour phase for Nestle India that you happen to mention, one thing that everybody across the board wants to know is, how is Maggi coming back? Is it coming back in the avatar that we know it best, or are we going to look at something different this time around?
Look, Nithya, it's always been our belief at Nestle that what works. Consumers have loved this brand for 32 years. I think it will be sheer arrogance for me to go about making dramatic changes in the way in which we either have the product or market the product. So I'm delighted to tell you that the same great taste of Maggi that you're familiar with is back. Even the pack and the pack graphics looks by and large the same. We've added a few other dimensions to it, but otherwise it is just the brand that you have loved for 32 years.
Mr. Narayan, but this has probably been one of the biggest hurdles that Nestle India and Maggi noodles had to face here in the country. A lot of people believe this could have been the opportunity then to tweak the brand Maggi and the hit that the brand has received, maybe bring it in terms of relaunching, repackaging, rebranding. Did that ever cross your mind?
Look, obviously when we looked at the whole process of developing the marketing mix for Maggi noodles, obviously all different options crossed our mind. But I think one of the things that was at the core of our thinking was the fact that, and it's a realization also for me as the head of this team, that Maggi means so much to consumers. It is like a partner. It is like a friend. It has been part of people's lives for a long time. And I think it is my responsibility to give them back what they love and what they have loved. And I think it will really be quite misplaced of me to try and do things that the consumer says, but that is not my familiar Maggi.
Sure.
So we want to, obviously, as we go along, we'll have new variants and we'll have new offerings from Maggi. But what we offer now is what you're familiar with.
Perfect. But if I could ask you, what lessons have been learned from this entire exercise A? And we are talking about the crux of the debate being safety of product for consumption. So on those fronts, did Nestle India actually throw some focus, and how are you doing anything different this time around?
Okay. One thing, Nithya, I would really like to emphasize. Quality and food safety are at the center of the Nestle organization. If we have been in existence for 150 years globally and 103 years in India, the only reason why the consumer buys us is because he or she trusts our quality, which means that for us, quality equals to trust. So what we have been maintaining all along is that Maggi was safe, Maggi is safe, and Maggi will be safe. And indeed, all the tests that have been done from different authorities, different countries, different laboratories across India and also overseas has shown one single truth, that the question of food safety has been cleaned and cleared at every single test. That's what is something that I would like to emphasize, because that's what we are as Nestle. That's our strong suit.
Sure.
Now, we're not the only people, but that's a core area of our strength. Now, obviously, in the crisis that we have been through, and I always believe that one shouldn't ever waste a crisis, because a crisis is a time when you learn, you recalibrate, you recharge, and you refocus. And I think what we have tried to do as an organization is really to use this time to also reflect on as a leadership on what are the things that we can do better, what are the things that we do well, what are the areas in which we can engage more and better and more proactively, and what are the kind of emphasis that we would like to put as an organization on the rest of the portfolio, and also in terms of bringing in refocus and re-energizing the organization. And I believe that if there is one role that I play as a leader, it is to be a person who can start the fire of re-energizing the organization. Of course, the organization is much bigger than me, and they'll be the ones who will ultimately be the recipients of all the energy and all the drive that we can sustain.
Mr. Narayan, if I could ask you honestly, is it a cause of concern that once Maggie hits the shelves across stores once again, there is a kind of wariness in the minds of the consumer when they go out and pick up that product, because no longer is it going to come associated with a healthy tag? Is that something that you are going to be combating with?
Look, I think one of the key issues, and I'm always pragmatic in my thinking on this. I do acknowledge the fact that there are a section of consumers for whom there has been a seed of doubt that has been planted, right? And it is for us as Nestle to assuage those consumers on the quality and safety of our products. And indeed, the communication that we have got out now, which has been on air for the last couple of days, is addressing squarely that issue. The issue that you thought that there was something wrong with this product, but actually there is nothing wrong with this product. And I think we will keep emphasizing on this as we go along. Yes, it is going to be a journey ahead. Part of the journey might be very smooth, part of the journey will have its bumps, but I think it is for me and for my team to be able to brace up to that and to make it happen. And indeed, if there is one thing, Nithya, that I am deeply proud of, is the enormous energy that has been demonstrated and the commitment that has been demonstrated by everyone in the organization and our partners and our suppliers and everyone else. I think when determination seeks a cause, magic happens. And this is that defining moment as I see it, as a leader for this organization.
Looking back, do you ever wonder about the timing of this controversy? Because Maggi was not a new product. It's the original ramen noodles of sorts in India. The timing of this entire feud over safety and safety of consumption, did that strike to you as odd at any point in time?
Well, Nithya, honestly, it's not for me to speculate as to what could be the causative agents for what really happened. I think there are a few things for us as a company that is important and that I wish to reiterate. Number one, the primacy of the food regulator, the FSSAI, has never been and will never be a matter of question for us.
Sure.
So that's very clear. We are here to work with the FSSAI on food quality, on food safety, to ensure that it not only applies to our products, but if we can help in terms of propagating food safety and food quality as an industry, we'll be more than happy to participate. That's number one.
Sure.
Number two is very clearly that as an organization, I think we have the depth, and we have got the wherewithal to be able to sustain this journey as we move forward. And I think, to me, the confidence comes from the fact that since quality and safety are such cornerstones of this organization, I really hope that coming out of this crisis, there is a benefit to the industry as well, in terms of ensuring that the infrastructure, that the protocols, that the quality of people who do the actual testing really improves. Because I think there is a huge potential for the food processing industry. And indeed, that is one of the cornerstones of the Make in India program. If it really is, then I think this is a moment that we can make it happen.
Mr. Narayan, I'd like to switch gears to number crunching and to the kind of brand image in just a moment, but I'm glad you mentioned the food regulator FSSAI. A lot of legal experts believe that the kind of hit that the company and the brand has taken as a result of this seemingly unnecessary feud is cause for Nestle India to actually take the FSSAI to court to challenge this particular issue at a higher court. Is that something that Nestle India is considering at any point in time?
Look, Nithya, I think I want to make one thing clear. I think the entire focus of the global management of the company,
Sure.
and indeed me and the local management of the company has really been like the heron on the fish. For us, it has been on getting Maggie back.
True.
And I think the whole process that has been done by a team of people that has been dedicated to this cause and to this cause alone. So honestly, the focus has been singular. The focus has also been on ensuring that our trust and reputation gets built back, because that is the only precious asset that we have as a company, and there's no question of allowing that at any point in time to be weakened. So we've really focused on this, getting Maggie back. We've been here for 103 years. We want to be here for decades and centuries ahead, and hopefully my children and my grandchildren will be beneficiaries of Nestle products as time evolves.
Fantastic. You've indicated you've been here for 103 years and you're here to stay clearly for
Sure.
generations to come.
Sure.
Given this entire controversy, has it left an unpleasant taste of sorts in the minds and mouths, literally, of the global management of Nestle? And do you think that the focus on India is likely to change as a result of this?
Look, one thing is absolutely clear. India has been and India will be a focus market for Nestle. I mean, there's been sometimes criticisms being leveled that it's only 1.5–2% of the global turnover. Fine. I think we need to build ourselves even stronger in this country. But that doesn't mean that the focus on India as a market is lost on Nestle. What is the underlying emotion of the global management, if I have to really capture it?
Sure.
I think it's a feeling of sadness that this has happened, because clearly it is something that we are not. Food quality and safety is central to us.
Sure.
And I think that doubts were raised on it, and that we tried through a process of direct dialogue, and that's what we prefer as a company. Sometimes people ask me the question, but why didn't you get ballistic before? We don't do that. As a company, our style has always been, we want to have a direct dialogue with the regulators and with people who matter. We get across our point, and our point was basically 3 simple points. Number one is that, look, test heavy metals in accredited laboratories, because they need a certain infrastructure,
Absolutely.
they need a certain protocol, and they need a certain quality of people. If you do that, you will see the results. But if you don't do that, you will get all kinds of odd results that will make you question that the product is unsafe. So we have maintained this all along, and indeed we have indicated at each step. At each step, even the last bit of analysis done by NABL certified laboratories, 3 of them in India,
Sure.
has shown that not a single sample has failed to qualify as being absolutely safe.
Mr. Narayan, what kind of revenues does Maggie contribute to Nestle India currently? And in terms of ranking globally, where does India rank in terms of revenue share for the management?
Look, as I said, roughly roughly India is about 2% of the global turnover of the company, and the Maggi portfolio
Sure.
is roughly about a fourth of the total portfolio of Nestle India.
And what kind of loss in terms of numbers has this entire controversy resulted in as far as Nestle India is concerned?
You might have seen the results that we declared for the second quarter, and in fact at that stage we had taken in a loss of almost 450 crores. There has been a flow through of another 15 odd crores that has come into the last quarter, the third quarter results as well. So it has been a fairly significant loss. But Nithya, for me, the loss, it's more than what is captured in the books. Is the human story.
Sure.
I mean, the fact of the matter is that 5 factories were sealed shut. Nothing was happening in those factories. Workers were not able to work. Our suppliers were not able to supply. So they've had loss of business as well. Farmers have not been able to find avenues for selling their wheat, and wheat millers haven't found the avenues for selling the wheat flour. And we are a significant buyer of wheat flour on the market.
Sure.
Packaging has come to a grinding halt. Carton makers have come to a grinding halt. Almost 40% of our people working in our distribution centers have also been adversely impacted. Our distributors have been adversely impacted. Retailers, 4 million retailers in this country stock Maggi noodles.
Absolutely.
Their business has been adversely impacted. And last but not the least, there are so many hundreds and thousands of small vendors who sell Maggi noodles as a snack. And all those people, in fact, for some of them, like for example, the famous Tom's here in Delhi, he has 46 varieties of Maggi that he sells. And the poor man hasn't been able to sell this in the last 5 months.
But given the kind of hurdles that this really resulted in, and like you indicated, it was not just a loss in terms of the numbers on books, but it was a loss of a lot of livelihood for a certain period in time.
Sure.
Does that mean that the management at any point, the global management said, this is way too much of a hassle, and why really do we need to think of India as the next big and coming market? So did that thought ever cross the global management's mind? And how do you combat something like that? Because now again, you're going to resume sales, and it's going to be back to a happy ending of sorts.
Sure. Look, I think one thing is absolutely clear, Nithya. Nestle is represented in almost 200 countries. So we have the rough with the smooth.
Yeah.
So I think the management of the company is resilient.
Okay.
As a Swiss company, also we are resilient. So I think the fact of the matter is that what happened on Maggi gave a feeling of sadness, but at no point in time, and I want to say this in all sincerity, at no point in time was there ever a conversation saying, oh my God, India should not be a focus market. No. Right. It's always been, let's clear ourselves, let's approach it pragmatically, professionally, with humility and with sincerity. And we prove our point that what we are talking about is indeed what we are. And I'm happy to say, in a very transparent and clear manner, that's exactly what we are.
It's not the end of the road yet as far as the controversy over Maggi noodles is concerned. We did see a leg of the food ministry drag you to consumer court for mislabeling of the product, misbranding it, targeting, a very vulnerable section of the community when you talk about it being a healthy product, the mother-son or mother-kids bond, etc.
Sure.
How would you react to all this, allegations against the company?
Sure. It's really, for me, as I've said it before, Nithya, I think the NCDRC class action suit is truly unfortunate. It's unfortunate that this has happened. A lot of the allegations in that have actually been matters that have been addressed to by the Honorable Mumbai High Court in their judgment on 13th of August. It's a question now for us as a company, as Nestle, to defend our reputation, which in all humility we will do. We will do this, and we will take this forward, because if there's one thing on which the company is extremely proud of and is at the center of what we are, it is our food quality and it is our safety. And I think if that has been questioned, I think we have the moral responsibility and indeed also the right to be able to defend ourselves.
Mr. Narayan, you're again talking about the issue of fresh sampling that the NCDRC is considering. At this moment, would you categorically go on record saying no more than permissible levels of lead or MSG or any other content that could probably threaten consumption is prevalent in Maggi noodles? Are you sticking by that?
Look, it's very clear to me. Why is this testing being done? Because you still have got something to prove or something to establish on the safety of the products. We are a transparent organization. I have nothing to hide. You want to know my quality standards, I'll tell you. You want to know my testing methods, I'll tell you. I have 11 laboratories that I worked through in India, NABL and our own laboratories, to establish the quality of the product. I have nothing to hide. So therefore, you want me to do the analysis, I'll do the analysis. I'm happy to do the analysis, because if I were to do otherwise, then you might think that I have something to hide. I have nothing to hide on this. So please see the analysis. Please establish for yourself on lead, on monosodium glutamate, I think it's very, very clear that there is naturally occurring glutamate in the product because of the presence of things like onion and wheat and other ingredients. So there is that. Now that will get established, but in any case, at all points in time, our products are absolutely safe for consumption by human beings.
Fair enough. If I can throw the spotlight now, Mr. Narayan, on the ease of doing a business in India debate. A lot of people are now wary, especially MNCs, given that on one side the government is talking about ease of doing business, make in India, and a whole host of such sloganeering. But on the other hand, there are cases like this controversy which is literally leaving a very bad taste in the sense of the industry. We did see members of the government, ministers come forth and indicate that this is really not ease of doing business. This is not helping corporates establish and take it to a different league.
Sure.
Do you think other companies now are wary of how to do business in India? Do you think doing business in India comes with way too much regulation in that sense?
Look, I think let me just put two clear facts on the table. I think one is, I think each corporate have got their own set of matrices to measure what difficulty of doing business is. And therefore, I will not be able to speak on behalf of a lot of other companies, but I can tell you as Nestle. As Nestle, as I told you, we've been here for more than a century. So obviously, if we've been here for more than a century, we have imbibed ourselves into the culture, and we know what it is like to conduct business in this country. So we have no doubts in our mind that in this environment we will strive and continue to do business for as long and as many years as we possibly can. So that's the first part. I see in this that the debate has come forefront. I know it has been my misfortune to have presided over the organization as we go through our worst crisis.
Absolutely.
But if there is a ray of light that comes out of this, I would really sincerely urge that for the country, if we can take forward 2-3 of the recommendations that I have honestly put forward, I think it's good for the country. The opportunities are huge. I don't think we should be as pessimistic as to say that, look, everything is done and out, because you do have sections of the government that I have dealt with in this whole controversy, who are perfectly professional, perfectly understanding, and perfectly know what needs to be done. I think the question is, let it be done.
Absolutely. In fact, you did mention a ray of hope. It's here. We are talking about, I introduced you as the man of the moment, but I think clearly there is just one thing in the spotlight, and that is Maggi noodles hitting the shelves once again. So coming back here, what kind of aggressive advertising and marketing strategy are you going to be adopting over Diwali and of course the festive season to ensure that it reaches every single mouth that's literally been waiting for months for the same?
Look, Nithya, one thing is that obviously we have got the occasion of Diwali and Dhanteras to really, it's very auspicious, as you know, in our calendar of festivals. So obviously this is in over 100 towns today as I speak. We will be rolling out Maggi, right? More than almost 300 distributors of ours will be handling this product. We will be having also, in addition to whatever we're doing on trade related initiatives, we have got quite an innovative activity that we have engaged with Snapdeal. That will also be out quite soon to really sell in gift packs of Maggi in all the geographies where there is no ban at the moment. There are 8 states where currently there is a ban, and we are in touch with the authorities in order to ensure that the ban is lifted. So this will be something that will also be unique on the brand. I think we are engaging a lot on social media.
Sure.
We are going to be engaging a lot in terms of television, outdoor, point of sale, activation. I think as we go along, we are talking about big activities, because Maggi is much more than a noodle. It's a lifestyle. It's part of people, right? So I think we are doing and my team and I are endeavoring to put our best foot forward to ensure that we give back all those experiences that people have had with Maggi and that they truly love. And it's my hope that it is something that people will remember. Certainly my own mandate is a mandate to ensure that we get Maggi back at its strongest, right? And that's the hope, and that's the prayer that all of us have.
The journey has only just begun. In fact, thank you so much, Mr. Narayan, for joining us, and hoping that Nestle India and Maggie reaches the consumers in the form that you believe is best this Diwali. Thanks so much for speaking to us.
Thank you, Nithya. Thank you for having me on your show. Thank you.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.